great thing going into this football game.
What's the biggest challenge going to have having a week off and getting guys kind of refocused? The fact that you see signs, guys that they're ready to go and focus.
Yeah, the biggest thing. There's really a couple things. One, you kind of want them to get away and get rest and sort of get healthy, which I think they did. A lot of times they getting their football legs back a little bit this week can be a little bit of a struggle. That's why I bring them in and do some stuff on Monday and excuse me, and get them refocused again mentally as well, and then just reiterating to them that it's another. Really, in my opinion, our season starts now. And what we've did already is great, and we're in a good position. But we need to buckle down and prepare as if this is week one and go one game at a time.
What's your response to Najee Harris arrested in Miami for carrying a concealed weapon?
Obviously, my messaging the week before is, be smart, be careful, protect each other away from the building, and obviously it was away from here, and guys have got to make better decisions when they're away from the building, and it's unfortunate. It's obviously it's out of my hands now. It's still a legal matter, but you just gotta use your head, be smart in those situations.
Does it scare you at all that he was carrying a loaded weapon? That
I don't know why anybody would do that. Obviously, I don't know all the circumstances around it, and it's obviously it's a big deal, to do that, and obviously he has it registered, and he from that standpoint listen, I have rifles and I like to hunt and do that same thing, but we just have to be smart. But it is a little surprising that he carried it.
Do you anticipate any discipline coming down from the league, and will you discipline him for any of his actions?
Until the whole legal process pans out, obviously from the league they got to look at it the same way I got to look at it. Right now nothing's been said, and we'll go forward. It's much like the Lane Johnson thing until we hear something further. Both of those guys will play, and we go from there.
Doug, there's a report yesterday that you might use Vaitai, at tackle in place of Johnson if he does get suspended. Is that true?
It is true. It is true. It's something that we've talking with Coach Stoutland and watching Big V closely, not only through preseason but in practices these last couple of weeks. Again, we want to exhaust all the possibilities, and Alan Barbery's been playing great at left guard, and if you don't have to disrupt two positions and just do one, I think there's some conversation there that we got to have. But yeah, he's definitely in the mix.
You did yourself scouting about the first 3 weeks. Is there one player or a couple players that really stood out as exceeding expectations?
Right now, I just feel like as a group, collectively, the offensive line has played extremely well. They've protected Carson in throwing situations, and have obviously done a nice job in the run game. So as a group, collectively, I think that group has stood out. And then you look at the defensive side and the way they've created turnovers and the way our pass rush. That's one thing I challenge both offense and defensive lines each week. That's where you win and lose football games, in my opinion, is up front. And those two groups have really stood out, in these first 3 games.
Do you need to talk to Nigel at this point, or have you, or are you just going to kind of wait and see what happens?
I'm going to wait and see. Listen, he's been talked to by a lot of people already, and he understands, and I'm just going to wait and see what happens. I'll keep talking to him like normal, all the guys, and just keep reminding them that we got to make good, smart decisions away from the building.
How troubling is it that now this is his second arrest in a few months here?
I mean, it's obviously a concern. Again, it just both of these were incidences that are away from here, and when they're out of your control that way, and this is where guys need to. Just be smart about it. It's their livelihood. It's their families. In everything that we do, it's no different. if I'm away from this building and then the things that I do as a when you're not the head football coach, and you're with your family, you just got to make those smart choices. And it's easier obviously when they're in town because you can kind of control the environment a little bit and protect them. But they've got to be a little smarter away from the building.
Part of a defense does he become to this team? I mean, overshadowed by those things is kind of what he's done on the field.
He's played well. He's played well. He's been one of the the bright spots on defense, and he's also had a role on special teams, and when Ertz was down, he kind of had to fill in a little bit on teams and pick up the slack there. So yeah, he's been a valuable part to what we've done defensively and as a whole as a team.
In all the situations you defer to the league, at what point did you get involved as the head coach and discipline from the team?
Well, I mean, again, to me, it's a fine line, because if I can talk to him until I'm blue in the face, and I could sit him down, I could suspend him, I could do a lot of different things, but at the same time, because it is a legal matter, and the league could potentially step in these situations, until I get all the information. We go as business as usual, and I'll continue to talk and mentor these guys as I've done all along.
Coach, you spoke very highly of Carson's focus level. With him having a week off and his newfound success and fame, how do you think he has handled things now coming back and getting back into football?
We'll find out. Really, we'll find out. He was in here again this morning, 5:30, the quarterbacks, and he was back on track studying the Lions, and he's doing the same things. He came in, had a good workout on Monday, and it doesn't seem to bother him right now. We'll obviously, as we go this week, we'll see more and more, and then ultimately on Sunday how he plays. So, we just keep him focused. We keep the main thing, and get ready for the Lions each day.
If Ryan Matthews is 100% healthy, will you still use him as the primary lead back, or will you kind of gradually ease him back into the rotation?
Yeah, we're going to continue, or I'm going to continue to use him like we've been. All four backs have really played a big part in the success early. Obviously, Wendell had a big game, against Pittsburgh the other day, and Ryan is still our primary guy. He's our go-to guy. So, he's 100%, and we go with Ryan, and we mix the other guys in according to play or game plan.
So he's all the way back, Doug, from his injury. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There's a little soreness still with him, with that ankle. But he worked on Monday and looked good. So yeah, we go business as usual.
You've seen Beckham about 30 snaps in both of the last two games. Where is he as far as his grasp of this offense right now? And have you been pleased with what you've seen so far?
Yeah, he's getting better mentally. And Greg Lewis and I spoke last week and wanted to actually increase his load even more, and give him a few more plays each week and put him in more situations. And he's done a nice job. He's really grasped the offense and understood his role. And we have things in the game plan each week designed for him, and it's my job to call those plays and put him in that situation. But yeah, he's right on track and doing well.
What have you seen from him that's given you confidence where he can possibly come in and play right tackle? And have you been giving him reps with the first team offense in preparation for that possibility?
The second part, we have not given him first team reps yet. He's been going against our starting defensive line all of the regular season so far. So the work he's done in that capacity against a good defensive line, gives us confidence that if we had to make that decision, we could do that and not bat an eye. So just from that standpoint, and then going back and evaluating even his preseason games, and looking at that and where he is physically, mentally, puts him in a good position to potentially be that right tackle.
Is his injury a factor in all that?
No, not at all. And Isaac is healthy too now, so it's a good thing to be in this position again. But the way it's sort of working out. Isaac doesn't necessarily factor in with the way Wiz has been playing in some goal line situations.
I'm sorry, nothing to worry about, but the line sometimes the worries you that stands out.
Well, I still think, I like watching Stafford play. I think he's a good quarterback. Golden Tate and Anquan Bolden is a smart veteran guy. It can be a situation where they get on a little bit of a roll. It's hard to stop them, and their run game obviously with any team becomes really important. Defensively, very similar style of defense like we play, with those wide defensive ends, and it's a get up the field. It's an attack mentality, and the benefit to it is that we see it every day in practice, so we're used to this style. But at the same time, they're aggressive, and that it's something you see from them every week. In fact, last week, they had chances to potentially win that football game and be in a better situation. But we've got our work cut out for us again, and we just got to go to work today.
Did you go back?
Start it again.
Have you noticed anything different with his given his background in Detroit?
No. Asked him a couple questions about crowd noise. For someone that's been there and things like that, but haven't really, he's focused on our defense and getting them ready to play, and so really haven't focused on that.
In your film review, did you go back as far as last Thanksgiving's game, Thanksgiving Day game with the Eagles, and how they effectively beat the
I watched a few plays of it. Again, I told the team this morning, not to get caught up in that game. We played them last year. The Chiefs played them in London last year, and it was a different outcome as well. I don't get caught up in that. We're different. They're different this year. We just got to understand that this is our next game, on our schedule, and the best way to erase that memory is to put together a good performance on Sunday.
What about your three tight ends healthy? What does that do for your offense and the options with play calling and packages?
Yeah, in the first couple of games, you've noticed that Matt Tobin has kind of taken the role of a tight end, and this way, it kind of gets back to what I envisioned us being early in the season. Obviously, in training camp with three tight ends, I love using all three of our guys. I think number one, I think Selleck's playing extremely well. Trey Burton has been playing consistently, and now Zach getting back and what he did, in that Cleveland game. Really, it just kind of opens up a few more things out of that package, run and pass for us, and looking forward to, this week and hopefully, future weeks with those three guys.
So just to clarify, if Lane does get suspended, are you definitely going to go Vitae at right tackle and leave Allen? Is that the plan, or is that just something you're considering?
It's something we're considering. We still have the original, like we talked about before, you move Allen out and possibly Wiz, at left, but I got to take in all the information. And again, it's a situation where if I can just tweak one spot and not two, it could be better for us that way.
At the same time, though, the fact that we still have Lane with the first team, would that be an indication that we expect him to be able to play on Sunday?
I do. And again, it's been that way. It's kind of it's a strange deal, but week to week, we just go that route, and Big V or Allen or whoever we end up putting over there, excuse me, we'll be ready to go. But right now, it's Lane Johnson at right tackle.
How much better has Carson gotten since week one in terms of pre-snap reading, pass protection, and
He's gotten a little better each week. There's still some things on film that he can even do better at in progressions and reads, but he's doing a better job with communication with Kelsey and Mike points and protections and adjusting and doing that, and then he's done a great job of just protecting the football, which is obviously the ultimate goal. But he's slowly each week getting better with more reps and more time.
What do you think the biggest thing you've done as a coaching staff to enable him to have the success he's had?
I think just you come out of training camp with a volume of plays in your playbook that, you kind of go into the season using plays that we've got a lot of time invested in. Players know them, the quarterbacks know them, and obviously, he missed some time there in preseason, and so I felt like it was important game planning that we kept things very familiar to him, and then utilizing his strengths in these first 3 games, and it's obviously it's been successful, but at the same time, I'm going to continue just to coach him up, coach him hard, try to put him in the best possible situations, on Sunday, where he's not having to hold the ball a long time, utilize the run game, play action pass, all that stuff that you've seen in the first 3 games, and just keep that formula. Play great defense, play good special teams, protect the football, take away the football. So far, has been a good formula.
Doug, how did Carson do a better job of protecting himself in the 3rd game versus the first 2?
Well, he ran out of bounds a couple times in that Pittsburgh game. Once on a scramble, the second one he obviously made the great play to Darren, and he's just seeing himself on film and understanding, and then really just watching around the NFL, just watching highlights and clips and seeing some of the quarterbacks that are being hurt are in the pocket, which is going to happen. Others, whether they get out of bounds or slide or whatever, he's seeing that sort of thing, throughout the week. So he learns not only from his mistakes, but he also learns from other teams around the league just by watching and observing what they're doing.
Are you right now to call many designed runs for him?
Without giving away the game plan? No, I'm not. Now, it's week for us. It's our 4th game of the season, and obviously, as a staff, we got to be extremely smart on how we handle that aspect of the game. Probably the deeper as you go into your regular season, and if you're in a position to make the postseason, you might increase that a little bit. One of the things that I think defenses sometimes forget, I'm not saying they forget it completely, but it's the quarterback and the ability to run. And I think that was an advantage to us in Kansas City with Alex Smith, and his strength was the ability to run the football. And as we got deeper into the season, we dialed up a few more of those for him. And I think it could be the same type of formula with Carson. Obviously, you want to protect him and you want to get through a full 16-game schedule, but I think the deeper you go, you increase it a little bit more. Yes.
And what about the others? Is he kind of back to full practicing? Or?
He's full. Yep, he's full. Yep. Yes.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.